All right, it's my goal to make this the best switch stick video on YouTube. So there's a lot of switch stick videos on YouTube, and they kind of like explore switch sticking from a surface level, which is just like, hey, this is how you switch stick, and you should do it more often. But they don't like approach it from a strategic perspective, and they also don't tell you how to actually get good at it. And so that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to show you guys how to actually get good at switch sticking. All right. So let me get everything set up here, and then we'll jump onto the practice field and we'll start cooking. Okay, so first things first, we all know how to switch stick, right? You So your opponent, they hike the ball, and if you're playing defense, and if you flick the right stick, you can switch between different defenders. Okay, so that's how you switch stick. You can see I'm switching between different guys. And if you're not accustomed to switch sticking, I suggest you do this. I suggest you go into practice mode, you play defense, and you spy your defensive line. And then when you spy your defensive line, it allows you to just kind of play around and run around and flick your right stick in certain directions to take over players. And it just kind of gets you comfortable with like, oh, okay, like this is how it works, and it gives you a good feel for switch sticking. So that's what I would do. Go into practice mode, do this for 5 or 10 minutes, and it'll give you a pretty good jump on like switch sticking and how it works and all of that. Okay, so that's number one. That's gonna help you get reps. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and check out the links in the description or the top pinned comment. I have links out to some of my premium videos. Videos like the Guaranteed Picks Blueprint, which is an insane video where I teach you how to get multiple interceptions per game, how I easily do that. Points on demand, one play touchdown setups. This is a video that I made that shows how I cook cover two, cover three, cover four, palms, quarters, everything for one play touchdowns out of a formation that exists in every single playbook. There's also easy pre-snap tells where you can actually know whether or not your opponent is going to run or pass the ball pre-snap with 100% accuracy. So that's pretty insane. But and there's other videos. So if you're enjoying this video and you just sort of like how I teach content and want to learn more and go deeper, go ahead and check out those links. Okay, now back to the video. Let's jump into part two, right? Which is the strategy behind switch sticking. So what that comes down to is knowing your defensive responsibilities. Okay. Well, actually, let me back up. So most switch sticking is going to happen between whomever is your most immediate defender. And what I mean by that in this example, let's say I'm using this hook curl. I'm likely going to switch stick to this curl flat, this other hook curl, or the safety, right? So pre-snap, I'm thinking strategically like, okay, that's who I'm most likely going to switch stick to if I need to switch stick. All right. Most switch sticks happen between the hook curls. So this is going to be your most common switch stick. The second most common switch stick is going to be between your hook curl and the safety. All right. So if you get accustomed to switch sticking between the safeties and the hook curls, you're going to be 90% better than everyone else when it comes to switch sticking. All right. Now, so you kind of have an idea, okay, I'm going to switch to my most immediate help. And then you're thinking about the formation that the offense comes out. And my son is being really loud. Hopefully you guys can't hear him on the mic. What was I saying? Oh, next step, you're looking at the formation that your opponent comes out in, and you are anticipating routes. Part of that also comes down to understanding the responsibilities of your defenders. So for example, my opponent is in a trips formation here, and I have a curl flat on the field. I know that the curl flat is going to jam that wide receiver and then expand into the flat. So that could be something that I need to care for. I might need to switch stick over to the safety in order to care for that that possibility. But then again, I also have this number 3 receiver. If he runs vertical, if he gets behind me, because I have to maintain zone discipline, I have to stay within my hook curl. If he gets behind me, that's okay. I can let him behind me, but I might want to consider switch sticking to the safety above me. Hook curls, their responsibility is the middle of the field, so we're taking away drags, crossers, and slants. Let's back up. Let's just focus on what I said about the vertical routes. So I'm going to hike the ball. Okay, and so you saw that switch stick there. So that is a common switch stick that you'll probably, you should probably familiarize yourself with. If you are playing a hook curl, now my user is the hook curl with the black rectangle, and then whenever I switch stick, you'll see that black rectangle move, and that is the person that I am now using. So whenever you are facing someone like in the or trips, the seam streak is always going to be a possibility. And so I kind of allowed myself to get beat here, just so you can see, boom, I switch stick up to that safety, and then I go and pick that route up. They ran 2 streaks actually. Anyway, so you can see that's a common switch stick that you're gonna want to make. You're not going to want to, if you're a hook curl, you want to maintain good zone integrity. So you don't want to follow it all the way up the field. You can do what you want to do is carry and deliver. So you carry that route vertical to the point where you feel like the safety over the top is in good position to take over, and then that's when you switch stick, and then you can pick up that route. Okay, that's how you would want to play that. Again, so this is a bad formation though against what am I trying to say? This is not how I would defend this trips. Like what I would do actually is I would put that curl flat into a seam flat. That's going to allow him to carry that route vertically. And now I'm only concerned about that number 3 receiver. So if we hike the ball, you see I played that much better. All right, so we go into the replay, and like I said, the most common switch stick is going to be either hook curl to safety or hook curl to hook curl. In this example, it's hook curl to hook curl. So he's running that crosser, and he crosses my face. And this is a concept that's important. This is you'll hear this in the NFL a lot when you hear wide receivers and DBs talking football. They say never let the wide receiver cross your face. If he crosses your face, he's open. And what you can see here, that number 3 receiver, he crosses my face. Boom, he crosses my face. You don't want that to happen. All right, now I'm beat on the route. So if you're not switch sticking, what you would likely do here is just like chase that route all the way across the field, and you'll never catch up. Like you're already beat, you're never going to catch up. But if you're comfortable with switch sticking, I can just, as soon as he crosses my face, I know I have a hook curl help. I can switch stick over like I do here, boom, and then pick that up and ride it the rest of the way. Okay, and that's what I was going to say earlier, right? So hook curls, your responsibility is the middle of the field. You are taking away, slants, drags, and crossers. All right, I typically let drags go. Just that's like part of my defensive philosophy. By letting them go, I mean I let my curl flats or my flats take those. I have to give up something. So I'm just going to give up the shallow stuff, and I'll prioritize the intermediate to deep routes. And so here you can see, as soon as he crosses my face, then I'm going to switch stick over and pick up the route. So remember that rule when you're usering. If the guy that you're guarding crosses your face, you can just switch stick to your help. You always have help on the field. All right, so you always have help, and just knowing where your help is half the battle. You can always just switch stick to your help. And that was an example of switch sticking to the wrong person. So let's talk about that then. You will switch stick to the wrong person. Right here, you can see he crosses my face. He crosses my face. I try to switch stick to the right, and for some reason, it skips a person and it goes way over to the right. So when that happens, there's really not much you can do about it, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's just something you got to make yourself, comfortable with. I don't think it has too much of an impact on plays when it happens, to be honest, because when you're switch sticking because you're out of position anyway, or someone else is out of position, and so you're attempting to recover. And so if it switch sticks to the wrong person, you haven't lost anything because you have already lost. Like, you wouldn't be switch sticking if you didn't lose already. And so just know that as you switch stick, sometimes it's going to switch stick to the wrong person. All right. So there's another example. Same thing. I'm running the same play because I want to give you guys the philosophy behind the switch sticking. So again, same example. Get the camera straight here. All right. So same example here. I'm letting him cross my face. When he crosses my face, I'm beat. No worries. I can just switch stick right there. Boom. I can switch stick to my help, and then carry that route to deliver it to my other help, right? I could deliver to the corner, and then I can peel off and then go help out elsewhere. So again, you're a hook curl. You are defending slants, crosses, drags. If someone crosses your face, switch stick to your help. If you're a hook curl and someone beats you vertically, then you're just switch sticking behind you. And I'll do an example of that. So say this, and then boom, I can do that. So typically you don't, like corners, for example, their job, they don't want to let anyone behind them ever, because then it's a touchdown. Right? So if you see that corner on the left side there, he turns and he sprints upfield. He doesn't have deep help. He doesn't have a deep blue behind him to bail him out. So he needs to race him up the field, right? We have a safety over the top of us. So you can see I'm playing that hook curl. I get beat over the top. No worries. I can switch stick up. Boom. And now I'm picking up that route. Again, you can see that the number 2 receiver on the left side. He gets open just because curl flats do a terrible job of guarding seam streaks. Again, what I would do if you want to take away seam streaks, just put him on a seam flat instead of a curl flat. And then you'll see that seam streak get carried all the way up the field. And now nobody was open that time. So I guess that's just an additional tip for you guys to convert those to seam streaks, convert those to seam flats. And if that receiver goes vertical, he'll play him vertical. So you can see the difference here. I get beat. He gets behind me, switch stick up to the safety, and then I can take away that crossing route. And then because we changed the curl flat to a seam flat, he carries that other route vertically, and that's not open anymore. Okay, and so that really is all of the logic to switch sticking, right? Knowing where your help is, right? Knowing that if you get beat over the top, knowing where your safety is so you can switch to the safety if that's your primary concern. If a receiver crosses your face, if a drag, a crosser, in route, a slant crosses your face, you can always just switch stick to your help because you will always have help. There will always be help there for you, and you can just switch stick towards your help, and that's it, right? And so what it all comes down to from there then is just putting it all together. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, on defense, I'll come out in cover 3 sky, and then I'll do random passing play. I'll do random deep pass. All right, and so what we want to do here is we want to put it all together. And oh, you know what? I want to teach you guys one other trick. So one thing that you can do. So you might be wondering like, okay, so I'm supposed to hike the ball, keep my eyes on the entire field, and then switch stick to who's breaking open. Like, how do I do that? If you're having trouble with that, I suggest you do this. This is going to change the game for you guys, right? When your opponent hikes the ball, like I'm about to do here, hike the ball, you're going to watch the user. If you don't press anything, the computer takes over, like right there. That's the computer taking over. And the computer does a great job. The computer does a great job for about 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, routes begin to break open. So if your opponent hikes the ball and you don't press anything, computer takes over, like right there. That's all computer. That's great. Use those 2 seconds to look at the field and then switch stick based on who is breaking open. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to hike the ball. I'm not going to press anything, but I'm going to switch stick based on what I see. All right. Okay, did you see that? It's probably hard to see, but let's check out the all 22. All right, so I hike the ball. I don't press anything. I'm letting the computer, like I said, they do a great job for about 2 seconds. So I know where my help is, and I know my job. If anything, I'm at the middle of the field. If anything crosses my face or gets behind me, I need to switch stick. This route, this shake route here, this shake route, it's going to cross my face here, right? I'm not going to keep up with it. I can see that. So I switch stick over, boom. You see how where I switch stick over to the curl flat over there. Now I'm in position to make a play. Now the pass rush got home, but I guarantee you that's where he was going to pass, and I was going to make a beeline for the ball, and who knows, I could have got there and maybe picked it off, or at least make a knockout or a late pass deflection. But I saw he was crossing his face, so I switched stick to the help, and I'm going to take over there. And so if I didn't take over here, right, the computer would have just, like right here, the computer is just going to park and sit his ass right there and not move, right? The power of switch sticking is I switch stick on, boom, and I'm making a play right on the ball. Like I turn my hips and I'm on my way to help. That's the power of switch sticking. So if you're having issues like usering and keeping your eyes on the field at the same time, like don't worry about like the first 2 seconds of usering. Like let the computer cook. They do a good job, and then you just switch stick based on what you see. You may not need to switch stick. They may just do a great job. But if you see anything, you can switch stick. All right, let's try it again. I'm not pressing anything. All right. So I just rode that route the entire time. That was an example of just not needing to switch stick. But what I will show you here is that I wouldn't have done that if I had help, but I didn't have any help. Like I saw him coming across the field, and I didn't really have help based on the route that he was running. Like I could have switch sticked vertically up and to the left, but he was taking away that streak. I could have switch stick down into the left, but he was taking away the underneath pass. So I was all I had. So I had to run with that route. So sometimes a good switch stick is a switch stick you don't make. You know what I mean? Let's do it again. I'm not going to press anything from the outset. I'll let the computer play the initial defense, and then I'll switch stick. This is a trips formation. So remember what I said. Curl flat. I'm going to keep the curl flat on the field, but just know that curl flat, if that number 2 receiver is vertical, he's not going to play it well, and I may need to recover. All right, so that was 2 switch sticks there. Let's check it out. All right, peep where I am. The ball gets hiked, and he crosses my face, so I switch stick to my help to the right. I'm carrying that. Oh, he crosses my face again. I switch stick one more time. Boom, picking that up. See how that worked? So it's the same rules that I taught as far as letting someone behind you or crossing your face, and then just switch sticking towards your help. I switch stick again, boom. I ride that. Carry and deliver. When you switch stick, it allows you to maintain zone integrity, meaning like right here, I'm playing the hook curl, I switch stick, boom, he's leaving my zone, so I switch stick to my help. It allows my defenders to stay in their proper zones, which prevents leaving potential holes on the field. Okay. And so this is this is one of the ways you can switch stick. Just don't press anything. Let the computer do the initial defensive adjustment, and then you switch stick based on that, and then you user. All right. So here's the last example I'll show of that. So the seam streak. You can see my user. He gets behind me. I know I have safety over help over the top, so I'm not really tripping here, but he's beat, so I switch stick up, boom, and then I go play that. And he plays that very well. And because I switch sticked out of it, I maintain zone integrity. That hook curl stays a hook curl, and then he takes away that crossing route. Okay. Now what I could have done here, the pass rush got home. But let's say the pass rush didn't get home. Right here, I could have switch sticked back down and then recovered on that crossing route that carried all the way to the boundary. All right. So that's switch sticking as a hook curl, and letting the computer cook for those first initial few seconds, and then you take over from there. Another way you can do it is you can just start out as the safety and then switch stick down, right? Because the safety is, his assignment is easy, right? Just especially if he's a if he's a middle third, right? Like he's just protecting this deep zone, right? So you can just stay here, hike the ball, and then switch stick down like that. All right, so I start out as the safety, and I'm reading the field, and I just switch stick down because I see this crossing route. I see that crossing route, so I'm like, okay, I want to help out there. So I switch stick down, and I take that, and then he crosses my face, and then I switch stick back up to recover on that crossing route. That probably wasn't the best. That second switch stick probably wasn't the best, but you guys get the point. Again, you can start out as the safety and then just switch stick down. So that time, That time I started out as the safety and I switch stick down to carry up that seam streak. All right, so we see the seam streak. I'm on the safety and then I see it. So I switch stick down and I carry it all the way. And then I switch stick back up. Pass rush gets home. All right. All right, let's do it again. All right, so that was like 3 or 4 switch sticks there. Let's break those down. If I can get the right angle here. All right, let's break down those switch sticks. So starting out as the safety, showing you guys like the starting out as a safety technique. And then I switch down to that hook curl, right? I see 2 routes there. I choose to take the tight end. So I position him, right? So I put him in a position and then I move on. I switch stick back up. Boom. Switch stick number 2. I see that deep post. I switch stick back up. And now I'm on that deep post over the top. Right? I see this corner route. What is that? Is that a corner route? Oh no, this guy's just getting open. Number 3 down to the left. So I see that breaking and then I switch stick over. Boom. And I move down to take that away. But that's when the pass rush got home. So that was 3 switch sticks. Right? Boom, down in the middle. All right, let's take away that. Back up to take away that post. That post wasn't, I mean, it wasn't open anyway, but probably didn't have to do that, but whatever. Then I see that corner down at the bottom. I try to switch stick over to that. I was going to run and take that away, and that's when the pass rush got home there. All right, so that's 2 ways you can switch stick, right? You can just stay still and let the computer do its thing like this, and then switch stick like that, right? Read the field. Or you can start out as the safety and just do it this way. Or you can do it that way, right? And then, of course, you can do it the third way, which is just, plays the hook curl. And if you have good vision, you can just start here, and just run around the field, keep your eyes peeled. It does require good vision to do it this way, but it's not impossible. You can easily get put into conflict, kind of like I was there, because there's like a mesh concept there. But this is the third way. It does require some good vision. And I got switch stick onto the wrong person there, but you can do it that way as well. So those are the 3 primary ways of switch sticking. The best way to get good at it is just to get into practice mode and just, first of all, just practice switch sticking around the field to different people. Put your D line on QB spy. You will need 2 controllers for this method, because if you do it against the computer, they make super quick reads, and that ball's going to come out super fast. So use a second controller and just get comfortable with switch sticking around. And then take one of the techniques I taught you. Maybe you just start with letting the computer user for those first 1 to 2 seconds, and then you switch stick based on what you see open. And then maybe you try the safety method. Maybe you sit on the safety and then switch stick down from there and back up, right? And then as you get better, then you can user and switch stick at the same time. One of the main key though, is having a plan pre-snap and knowing where you might need help. Something like this, like I said, curl flats do a terrible job of taking away seam streaks. So maybe what you do here is like, okay, I'm going to make the adjustment. I'll put him on seam flat. You don't really have to worry about those 2 wide receivers on the left. Now you're just worried about number 3. All right. What you also could do to help with the seams is bring the safety down a little bit, and he'll help defend that seam. And then he motions out the other way. Oh my God. But and you guys saw this the switch stick there, right? And once you practice it enough, it just becomes second nature. Like right now, I was playing underneath, and then I decided to switch stick up to the safety and help carry that because he was beat, and I saw that over the top. I saw that he was beat over the top here. My seam flat got beat after I said I didn't have to worry about him. So he got beat on the post, and so I switch sticked up here, and I was able to take away a pass that could have been potentially open, right? So that is switch sticking. There is a lot to it, and there isn't a lot to it at the same time. It's more of a comfort thing, getting comfortable with it, and then understanding the logic and when you should and should not be doing it. Okay. That's it for this video. So hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you had fun watching it. I had a lot of fun making it. I'll see you guys in the next one.